Welcome back to Legendary Mail Games. I'm your host, Joe. And today I have something a little bit different than normal. This is a request from a good friend of mine, aJynks. His channel link will be in the description below if you can please support and follow him. This is to do with the PS5 console port that I use. This is the Doom 1 plus Doom 2, the Kex port. The question came to the settings that I use. I'll not only do that, but also show off for those of you that do not use the console version of the games or have been wondering whether or not you wanted it based on what features it has. I figure I'll go ahead and not just show off what mine are, but also go over what some of the features actually do, because they're not exactly self-explanatory. So I'm going to take you first to the quintessential map that I test most of my settings out on, and it's one of my favorite maps from TNT Evolution. This is going to be the infamous map 12 Crater. Alright. If we look at our settings, we have the options for input, gameplay. I don't do anything with multiplayer, sound, display, accessibility. Those are basically the main ones you're going to run into. As far as input, this is where all the buttons and all the sensitivity stuff is handled. As for keybindings, what I use is a variation of the basic. I've added and changed a few things with it. So attack, I use the trigger buttons. R2, L2 to run walk. Use is just X. Strafe modifier. Box. Quick save and quick load are pushing in the two sticks. Switching weapons, next and previous, I have switched to circle and triangle. And this is the reason. This way I can hotkey pretty much every weapon in the game. With exception to the pistol. Because I figure there's very few reason I would ever want to switch to a pistol. And if I do, I can quick switch to fists and then just scroll over one to quickly get there. The auto map is done by the central button, and this I have not messed with, but it has your zoom in, zoom out, your pans, all that, and since I don't do multiplayer, I don't have anything for the chat. Now, what this looks like, as I mentioned, having the weapons hotkeyed, if I give myself all weapons, like that, that way I can quick switch through them, just like you can on PC. As you can see, I can actually quick switch between everything, with exception to a pistol. So, in other words, if I don't need to waste the BFG, quick switch to a rocket. Don't need the rocket, quick switch SSG. Don't need that one, there's the arrow one. And ultimately, if we, for some unknown reason, needed the pistol, maybe just shoot a switch, we can just go to fist and over one, just like that. So, not much of a time delay there. Next up, mouse keyboard bindings. I do not have this hooked to PC. I guess there's some way to do it. Actually, that might be worth looking into. I do typically use the standard WASD when I play it on PC and use a mouse. Might have to look into that one. Now, vibration I have on, just relatively high sensitivity. Now, this sensitivity has nothing to do with vibration. This is actually your movement, and this is one of the most important ones you have. So, I have it set generally anywhere between 43 and 47, depending on the map, depending on the layout. And the way I fine-tune it is I go through this map. And there's a reason for that. Do it with the single barrel shotgun, and you'll see what happens. So right off the bat, we're going to have a lot of hit scares here. The goal is to not be missing many of the shots, like we are right there, meaning I'm turning too hard, so we can adjust it here. Maybe go up one more. Now this is a very good telltale area because now you have to navigate tight turns and still be accurate. So far, pretty good. Mostly on point for the moment. I'm not really running into crates, but now I'm running into decorations. So maybe we've not quite got it pinned down yet. So instead, up one more. Dead center on the shotgun soldier. Dead center on the imp. We can navigate in holes, but now we shoot just to the left of them, so we're pulling it a little, but we only pulled it a little once. So far I'm still feeling pretty comfortable with this one. Don't use double. That way we can test and see if we're actually accurate. And this is the other important one, is when you're running around, if you can still be accurate with it. So far, this is feeling pretty good. And a good way, again, to test is try taking it even further. See if you can go a little bit faster with it. If you start getting wild and swinging in all kind of crazy directions, you know you've gone too far. Already, I missed the switch turning into it. Oh, just to the left, just to right. Yep, left. Oh, nope, nope. So now we're not getting dead center hits. And we completely missed the chain guy at point blank range. So we can tell that we've gone a little bit too far there. So for me, the 45 seems to be most comfortable. And we can see there. Especially when it comes to barons, if we can actually hit them and not just shoot past them, but actually make contact. And yes, that's a good way I use to test accuracy, to set that. Now, as for the smooth acceleration, I will warn you about this. Never turn this on. Unless you are... I mean, I'm sure there's someone who likes it. This feature just feels to me like you are moving through molasses, trying to turn. As you can see there, it feels like you've got a weight tied to you. Your turn is very labored, and then it just whips. I'm sure it's probably to do with something to get the motion blur out, or I guess just make it less fuzzy when you're spinning around doing things. But as you can see, I have issues with it, major issues with it. Put our health back there. Because now, watch the difference it makes if I don't have that restriction on. And we go up here, we poke some arachnotrons, we fall in a hole, we poke some more, we put a stop to that, we take one out, we run up, and we don't get stuck on anything. And that's how it should be. So I am not a fan of smoothing and accelerating, absolutely not. Max turn acceleration, this just has to do with how quick you whiplash back and forth when you do just stand and turn. And for the dead zones, I have them almost maxed out at 40% each. I do not use motion sensor functions, and again, I do not use mouse. Now, as for gameplay itself, this is something I'm a stickler for even on the PC. I never turn on always run. Never. And this is apparently a newer feature, I'm guessing, because when I put the cheat codes in, it was on one of the updates, there was actually an option for me to enter it in manually. So I actually keyed in IDDQD to get the God mode, IDKFA to get the give all, and IDFA give all no keys. Apparently now there's a button to just give all of them. So that may be newer. I do not use Crosshair. I didn't grow up on Doom having a Crosshair. I just don't think it's something I want to get used to. So auto aim, all that's just whatever it is, it's standard, just with it turned off. Now as for sound, I use the remix tracks. This is where we always get the Andrew Holschult remixes. And I turn the sound way down because gosh knows if I don't, this is what you're going to hear. Clicking anytime I hit the menu, and good gosh, it doesn't take much for that to overwhelm the music. So I usually keep that one way down, just enough that I can still barely hear footsteps. I keep the music usually pretty close to my actual talking voice. And this has to do with chat, which I don't use. I don't have 3D audio on here, or anything to do with pitch shifting. Now, display. This one, I need to take us to a completely different WAD. So, let me teleport you to one of our recent DCMS maps. And this is by my friend Infernal Monsoon. This is his amazing work, Forever Below. Now, the reason I picked this one, if you do have access to a Bethesda mod shop, this is a perfect one to test it on. Just to make sure that we put it on with no monsters, because we're just testing lighting. So we don't need enemies. Alright, so right off the bat, very first room, we can see a lot. Let's give ourselves all keys, because we're going to test this in a few different areas. So, with the display options, I have the resolution to maximum, widescreen. Field of view, I have to 80. We need a different room to really test this. Bobbing, I just leave it alone at 50. Screen size, I have it to the max it will go before removing the HUD. So as you can see, if you scale it down, it just kind of disappears with the screen. I go just under the HUD disappearing. As for safe zone, I have no idea what in the world it does, and visibly nothing looks different, so I just leave that alone. These are the two big ones that change everything. Now watch what happens when we look at the light. Right now, we have a good shadow in the middle. And again, the reason I use this map is it's developed to be used with GZ Doom with dynamic lighting. So, if I alter here, the brightness, turn it all the way down, it gets to a point where I can barely even see that shotgun shell right in front of me. This is a little much. Even the edges of the doorways are hard to make out. This, just too much. And this one's easy enough to play with, especially in a room like this, because we can compare the reds with the shadow in the middle. So just like this, just keep an eye on that shadow. And now it looks like we can clearly see the edges of the windowsills, we can see where the floor is, we can still make out the shadow. This, to me, is perfect. Now, if we continue on, notice we actually have shadows on the stairs now. We have shadows on the walls. And this, I think, gives the best rendition we possibly have of dynamic lighting, at least for the Kexport. Now, notice we can't see anything in this hallway. Here is where another one comes into play. And this is extra lighting. I will tell you, extra lighting basically just shines a spotlight on whatever you're looking at. Extra lighting is the extreme of brightness. So watch this, just at 25%. We can almost see all the way down the hallway now. 50, and we can see the door. 100%, and literally everything is like it's daytime. So when you play it like this, you can't even tell what areas are supposed to be dark. Notice there's not a single shadow in this room. You can kind of tell from a distance, but when you get close to it, nothing at all looks shaded. So now, there's another area in this level we absolutely want to test out. So for this, let's go ahead and put on the computer area map. And what we are looking for is we are looking for this large arena. Let's see. Make sure I'm in the right universe here. There's like 4 different versions of the world. Alright, we want to be down at the bottom one, so no clip on. And the reason I do this is where we are going makes a major, major difference with lighting. And I like it a little bit better where we can kind of see where we're going. Alright, so this is the cathedral. Not interested. We want the major battle arena, which is way down here. And we can see it right here. So this is the big, epic outdoor arena. This is the Spire Mastermind maze that attaches to it. Keep going. Here we are. So here's the big, grand arena. What we're interested in, outside. Notice everything looks sunny. Everything looks nice, bright, vibrant. Well, let's put a stop to that. So, if we go back to our display settings and completely kill the extra lighting, watch the change this area undergoes. We should probably turn no clip back off. There we go. I mean, quite a bit different looking, don't you think? And now, it's hard to even see that this is open now. So when this massive monster ambush would come at you, it would be hard to tell when they were even released. But notice the importance of the dynamic lighting is, notice down here, we are now in the shadows, and it completely emphasizes this massive throne room where the ambush takes place. Enemies spawn up here to take attacks on you down there. So it just seems like you're being attacked from the ether all around you while you're exposed under bright light. But again, as you see with our extra lighting, as they like to call it here, if you turn it up, you lose all of it. And everything just looks like it's sunny and plain. So I try to use extra lighting only as an absolute last resort, because it just absolutely kills off the mood. And remember that Spire Mastermind maze I told you about? Take a look at it without the extra lighting. Looks a bit different now, huh? And imagine, there are, I believe, about 9 or 10 spider masterminds in this maze. Imagine the horror when you do this properly, with the blacked out lighting, and all you hear are the stomps of the spider masterminds around any corner. You never know when they're going to hit you until they start shooting. I mean, this is amazing, but it's so easily killed. if we just throw that extra lighting on and then expose everything. So again, these are the main settings I use. As far as accessibility, I don't do anything with it, but you do have the options for high contrast text, which, as you can see, it just makes it like that, where it's very visible. It basically blacks out everything around you. Menu typeface, you can change that. Modern, classic. I'm always been a stickler for the classic. Screen flash effects, I have them on. You can take them off. Notification message time, you can alter that if you need longer to read what it says on top. Of course, I don't deal with chat, so that's not a thing. And we have plenty of options as far as languages between English, French, German, Spanish, and Mexican, Italian, let's see, Russian, I believe, Japanese, Portuguese, Polish, and either Chinese or Korean. I'm sorry, I do not notice the characters. However, I do notice kanji. Credits and Bethesda Net is what gives you access to the mod shop to begin with. So as long as you have signed up for Bethesda.net, you don't have to pay anything. You have access to all the WADs, which this is, again, what I keep on every single day. For instance, going brand new, and these are literally posted daily. Sometimes there'll be tests, and they'll literally just call it out as they're testing different things. Sometimes there'll be the actual demos, but ultimately, if you want the best quality ones, always look for either official, because these are ones that have been either confirmed or authorized by the actual creator, and they have been the ones that's had the most care given to them and their programming. And if you don't look up official, the other one to look up is Bethesda Edition. Those are the two keywords that they always use for the ones that have been well maintained and well taken care of by members of the Doom community. You can see 13 pages of that. So 13 full pages. The other one had 9 full pages of WADs that have been approved by the actual uploader, the actual creator of the WADs, and are being maintained and updated regularly by members of the community. So, all of these are free as long as you have the Doom plus Doom 2 for PlayStation or Xbox. So, hopefully that showcases all the settings that I use and what settings are available to anyone who might be interested in trying this out for themselves if they've been on the fence about getting the console version. So again, thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.